Well, hello, Sean. Welcome to WG Content's Unscripted. It's so nice to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's fun to be here.
Yeah, and so you actually were brought to WG or introduced to me specifically through Kristen, as you guys both worked together before many years ago, right?
Yes. Kristen Grace was a member of our team here at Northeast
Yeah,
Georgia Health System for more than a decade. When we were a really tiny group, I think she may have been like the sixth or seventh person that joined our department. And
yeah,
comparatively, we're at 35. So she was a big part of that explosive growth period. And yeah, we spent a lot of time together for
yeah.
sure.
That's so cool. She was like, we've just been doing these now for about a year, and she's like, you have to have Sean on Unscripted. And I'm like, okay, I got you. We'll make a connection. So it's so nice that you've agreed to join me for this. So for those that don't know, Sean Couch, am I pronouncing your last name right? I'm
Yes,
guessing
ma'am.
it's
Just like the
spelled the
furniture.
way it's pronounced. Okay. Executive Director of Communications and Consumer Strategy at Northeast Georgia Health System. So just around the corner from us. And Sean knows the drill, knows what we're going to do here. So we're going to just pick some random questions and get to know him better. But before we get started, you and I were chatting about our plans, maybe like for the summer, or I can't even know, I don't even remember exactly what sparked the conversation, but you were sharing with me that you're going to Minneapolis this summer. And why
Yes.
are you doing that? Tell everyone that great story. It's so cool.
Yeah, so my wife and I, our first date was to an Atlanta Braves baseball game. She was actually a sports reporter at the time. Got some free tickets from their sports information director and invited me to go. We went, we had a blast. Lo and behold, a few years later, we got married. So we're both big baseball fans. So rather than celebrating our traditional wedding anniversary,
Hmm.
we celebrate the anniversary of our first date. We thought it'd be a great excuse to travel to places we might not go otherwise. So
Yeah,
wherever the Braves are playing on August 18th, that's where we go. So
I love it.
so far it's taken us to Pittsburgh, Miami, San Diego, and now it's going to take us to Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
So
Yeah.
neither of us have been, so we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some good tips. Okay, and
Please
so
do.
how many years have you guys been married?
Oh, of course, you'd ask that question. Uh,
Putting you on
actually,
the spot.
this June will be 12 years.
Okay. Kids?
Yes, we have one. She's 7 years old. Her name's
Okay.
Mallory. She's fantastic. Like
Yes. As
always tell
most
her,
7-year-olds are, very curious into
right.
lots
That's
of
what everyone
different
keeps
things.
telling me.
Yeah.
The perfect age.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, she's been a goofball since she showed up into our lives, and she's
Yeah.
still the same. She's just a goofball. She's
Yeah.
the most empathetic kid by none of our doing. But I hope she's going to stay that way for a long time.
And what did you say her name is? Mallory?
Mallory.
Okay, very cute. Well, hey, happy anniversary and congrats on having such a great kid.
Thank you. We'll touch base closer to August to make sure I get the tips from you.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll do that. Okay, so here we go. Let's kick this off. What was one of your favorite things to do growing up? Maybe start with like, where did you grow up? And then what were some of
Yeah.
your favorite
So,
things?
well, and it's actually kind of work related too. So I grew up in Southern Hall County in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, about 45
Mhm.
minutes northeast of Atlanta. And my mother was a nurse in the emergency department at what was then called Northeast Georgia Medical Center. So the hospital in Gainesville.
Mhm.
She was a nurse in the ER there for 40 years, her entire career, all in the emergency room. So I grew up around like seeing the logo for our health system on like
Mhm.
bags that would come home. I remember going to the employee picnic when I was a kid. That's what they had back then. That's how many
Mhm.
employees we had. 2,000 employees.
Yeah.
We'd hang out at the local park. So, and every once in a while, there would be some childcare issue. And she would bring my sister and myself into the emergency department, stuff us in a break room and tell us to be quiet and kind of do our homework. So I grew up around kind of knowing what the hospital
That's so
was, but
cool.
I had no
Yeah.
idea, never in a million years did I ever dream I would come back and work for what it would eventually become as a larger health system.
Mhm.
So that's where I grew up, a really idyllic place. Yeah, and now I'm back, so it's full circle. But
How would you describe yourself as a kid? What kind of things were you into?
I talked a lot. I thankfully made good grades in school, but always on their progress reports at home would get the talks too
Yeah.
much on the
Yeah.
behavioral stuff.
Yeah.
Probably too precocious for my own good. Spent a lot of time in the principal's office in elementary school. Eventually got straightened out enough to graduate from high school. But growing up the whole time, I always knew I wanted to do something that involved people and talking to people, but
Mm-hmm.
never had any idea what I wanted to do for a career and really didn't figure it out until I was in my sophomore year of college. So it took a long time.
And where did you go to college?
So my first 2 years, I went to what was then a small community college it was
Mhm.
called Gainesville College
Okay.
because my parents were way smarter than I was and knew that if I went somewhere else, I would probably end up right back there very quickly. So I went to a 2 year school, and my last semester that I was there, I had an independent study course with a journalism professor,
Okay.
and he was a former copy editor for the Atlanta Journal Constitution, who had turned into a professor late in his life, and he was gracious enough to let me do an independent study with him because I only needed like an hour or two to graduate, and that was a nice way to get it without taking a full
Hmm.
course. And I would hang out with this guy for like 2 hours every week, just me and him in his office talking about journalism. And when I took the course, it was just to fill that hour requirement. But
Hmm.
he totally sold me on journalism. He was just such a great guy. His name's Dan Cavanis. He recently retired from the University of North Georgia. So through him, he convinced me to go into journalism,
Hmm.
and I transferred to the University of Georgia. That's got an amazing journalism school there.
Hmm.
And while I was there, I went from thinking I wanted to be the next anchor on Sports Center on ESPN to
As
recognizing,
many young men probably have that same dream.
right, right, totally. Until I
Yeah.
actually got into it and started doing it, I was like, no, 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 I like being behind the camera better, and I prefer news. So
Yeah.
that took me down the path of becoming a TV news producer, which I did for local affiliates around the Southeast
Okay.
for 5 years
Cool.
before I moved over here.
And you've been in your current, well, with Northeast Georgia now for what, over 15 years? Is that what I heard? Or
Yeah, it'll be 18 years this August, which is crazy.
wow.
Yeah, 18 years this August.
Well, it says a lot about what it must be like working there. I mean, to stay there for that long.
It's been an
That's
amazing
awesome.
place to work. It's
Yeah.
still growing and thriving, which is helpful.
Hmm.
It's a fantastic culture. We do have a lot of long tenured employees. And I have to say, when I took the job, I got out of TV in the recession of '08,
Hmm.
and I wanted to intentionally shift gears into corporate comms. I wanted to get away from the kind of exhausting, it leads mentality
Hmm.
over in TV
Hmm.
news and do something that was more positive.
Yeah.
Um, but the market was flooded with really qualified candidates looking for jobs in corporate comms, and I had no experience. And thankfully, through my mother, who was the nurse, found out the job was here, applied for it, and some leaders that are still here today, our chief strategy officer, Melissa Timchuk, hired me, and I'm so grateful that she did. Because as a cocky young 20 something, I was like, I'll take the job if I'm lucky
Yeah.
enough to get it. I'll
Yeah.
parlay it into some agency stuff in Atlanta. And within a year of being here, saw how quickly we were about to grow. And
Yeah.
it was a culture that if you were willing to roll up your sleeves and just find a way to solve problems, even if it wasn't your job,
Mhm.
that was rewarded. So,
Yeah.
and it's been a
Well, that's
tremendous.
cool. And is mom still around? Like, is she able to
Yes,
see all the great things that you're doing? And
she's still with us for sure. She'll be 78 this year, I believe.
okay.
She retired about 12 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, and every time I see her, she just always laments that the health system's not what it used to be. It's so much better. I used to know everybody, and now I don't know anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think she's on one hand proud to see how it's grown, but on the other hand,
Yeah.
longs for the days.
That's not what she remembers. It's like you guys should have like a wall in the cafeteria of like family legacy of like generations that have worked there. It's very
It's
cool.
funny you say that. One of our PR marketing specialists who runs a lot of our media relations, he just emailed me yesterday and said he found out about um, this mother and daughter who he's known for a while working as nurses
Yeah.
in two different departments. He just learned that the third generation is now a nurse with us as well, and they're all still working as nurses.
Huh.
Yeah, and that they currently have one of them has a child that's in our NICU, and they're all here at the same time. So he's actually going to go pitch a story to our local media about that. So we're excited.
All right. Well, we'll have to tune in. Gotta send me that. All
Yeah.
right. What's a book, show, or idea that you've enjoyed recently? You into any kind of shows or books? I feel like I have about 10 going at the same time all the time.
It's funny. I don't read anymore. And I always feel like a Luddite whenever I admit that out loud, but it's true. I just don't. I wish I did.
Well, we're
I,
constantly consuming content all day long. It's tough to read in your free time as well.
I wish that was a good. I appreciate you giving me that out.
I'm
Honestly,
throwing you a bone a little bit, yeah.
I have a hard time, as sad as it sounds, but I have a hard time now when I go to read. I just get too distracted and I
Yeah.
don't have the discipline to do it. So I need to work on it. But I've
Yeah.
listened to more books on tape, or I guess not on tape. That's antiquated. Stream it.
Yeah.
The challenge now in my household is my wife and I have very different tastes. So if she's going to sit down and watch TV, she's going to watch something on Bravo.
Hmm.
And so then I end up off on my own trying to scavenge for stuff. Um, First thing that came to mind when you asked is are you familiar with the show Andor, Star Wars show on Disney
Oh,
Plus?
well, no, I'm not. No. But I love
So
Star Wars.
even if you're not a Star Wars person, I would still pitch it because it
Yeah.
is much more of a spy thriller
Hmm.
drama than anything else. And growing up, I was a Star Wars kid, got turned off by all the new stuff as it rolled out. But this is the coolest Star Wars content that I've watched since the original movies.
Yeah. Well, there's so much content out there, shows and everything that it can be hard. Like I can forget like what I've watched because I just, there's so many different things on. Are you a
You can
Ted
through it
Lasso fan? I
sometimes.
see your Believe behind you. I don't know if that's inspired by Ted Lasso or the OG Believe sign, but
All right, well, so teach me. I don't know the OG belief
well, isn't
sign.
it
What's
like a Michigan or a University of Michigan or Michigan State or maybe Notre
uh,
Dame? Like I don't know. It's a right. There's like a
now
an
that you say that,
original.
I think you're right. Notre Dame has the play like a
What?
champion that
Okay,
they.
yeah. It's like when they hit the wall when they're going out to the field, and I thought it said, does it say play like a champion?
It does at Notre Dame, but we'll have
Okay.
to check out the Michigan one and see what that is. But yes, this is Ted Lasso inspired,
Okay.
and it's this great company out of Buffalo, New York, called Oxford Pennant. And
Okay.
if you're somebody who's like fights for the small American company, this is your jam. They send amazing emails, amazing marketing,
What's it? What
and
are
they
they
make.
called?
They're called Oxford, like the town in England,
Mhm.
Oxford,
Okay.
and they have a lot of collaborations with musical artists. Like, but it's a wide range. Like, it goes from John Prine to Blink 182. It's
Okay.
a and Joni Mitchell's in there, and they put out all kinds of pennants, flags, banners, keychains, you name it, and it's all made and hand sewn in Buffalo, New York. They're awesome. But yes, big Ted Lasso fan. This is what it's from. And candidly, at work in my office, at times it's easy to get frustrated by
Mm-hmm.
everything that you're dealing with and trying to manage people and manage processes and
Hmm.
everything else. And so much of what I believe the message in Ted Lasso is just it's okay. You don't have to control everything. Just
Hmm.
believe in the people around you and it will work. And so that is the reminder to try to tamp down
Yeah.
some of my to want to control things.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder because it can become quickly overwhelming if you're trying to
Yeah.
control and respond to everything. So what's on your someday I'll do that list? Do you have
Hmm.
things that you're thinking that you want to try or learn or
So I have never traveled internationally. I
okay.
say that I've not traveled outside of outside of continental North America. I've been to
Yeah.
Mexico, but I have not traveled across an ocean
Hmm.
anywhere. So I've got to make the time to go do that.
Yeah.
And with my daughter being 7, my wife and I have talked about when is it worthwhile, at what age is she probably old enough to appreciate it and to
Mhm.
go. So we're both itching to go and do.
Yeah. Do you have like I mean, because that is such a, where do you start? Is there kind of like a place that you have in mind that you want to go to first?
I could go pretty much anywhere
I know.
and be happy with it. My wife has traveled way more than I have.
Okay.
And so we'll probably start with some places she hasn't been to. So she's already been to Australia, New Zealand. She's not been to many places in Europe. So we may
Okay.
start in Europe somewhere, probably Italy.
I was going to say that seems to be people's like first stop, and
Right,
then expands from there.
right.
Um, I've never been to Italy, but that's on my Sunday list too.
She's got familial ties. She's Sephardic Jew, so by
Okay.
heritage. So much of her family history can be traced back to Russia. And
Mm.
so we would love to go, but of course, the political climate doesn't always make that the easiest thing in the world. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. That's tough. All right. what's a small habit that helps make your day go better?
Well, we need a tip about how to make my day go better.
Yeah. That believe sign behind you.
Yeah. Probably the smallest thing when I have the discipline to do it
Yeah.
is stopping and taking a look at really just taking 5 minutes to look at my calendar for the day
Hmm.
and to determine what's probably going to run long.
Hmm.
Go ahead and give people some advance notice, really follow up and find out, do those things need to be meetings? Is there another way we can do it? See which ones I need to be in and which ones I just need to believe and trust that other people will
Hmm.
go.
Hmm.
Um, that's probably it. It's just looking at taking the time to stop and look far
Yeah.
enough ahead to get to clear out
Yeah.
any make things more
Yeah.
efficient.
I mean, I think it's like that small habit around, or even just a discipline around saying no, And so it's like, where do I need to be? What's most important? What are the priorities? Where can I add value? And am I just attending or, saying no is hard to do.
Well, what about you? I mean, is saying no yours? Kind of what's your tip for how?
A small habit that helps my day go better.
Yeah.
Um, I would say, I don't know, I guess I would answer it a little bit differently in that anything that has to do with like my dog. Like, is that like my I guess Winnie is her name. She's a nice little break in the day. So I try to step away from my desk, once or twice throughout the day and just take her on a short walk. And so that usually clears my head, I feel better. So it's a nice little habit that I have with her. That's nice. I work from
What
home every day, so I have that
breed,
I'm able to do. I'm sorry.
breed is winning?
She is like a terrier mix. So yeah. Do you guys have a dog at home?
Yeah, we got two, and we got a new one. We're not hunters, but somehow we've ended up with two hunting dogs that we don't hunt.
Yeah.
So we got a dog. We've never even heard of this dog. It's a treeing Walker Coonhound. I know her name is
Love
Reese. She's
hound dogs.
amazing.
Yeah.
And then we got worried. She turned 4, and we got worried that she was a little too lazy and a little too lonely. And we
Okay.
probably projected a lot of feelings onto Reese that she may or may not have. And
Mm-hmm.
so we got her friend who we thought was something, again, a dog I'd never heard of. We thought was a Catahoula leopard dog. That's what we were told it was.
Okay.
Right? It's a dog from
Yeah.
it's the state of Louisiana. Pigs
Okay.
River. We got her from a rescue group, and that's what they told us she was. But we just got her DNA test results back, and she's mostly Australian cattle dog and border collie. So she's smarter than both of us, and super high energy because she's only 10 months. And our other dog looks at us now like, "Why did you bring this dog
Yeah.
home?"
What did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have to send me pictures of your dogs.
Well,
Um,
same. Yeah, you need some
yeah.
too.
Okay. So last question. What's bringing you joy these days? That little 7-year-old, I'm sure is. What else?
I know it's cliche, but it's my 7-year-old. She's
Yeah.
awesome. Like all the girl dad cliches
Mm-hmm.
are true,
Mm-hmm.
100% true. She's changed so much the way that I think about things. I called so many coworkers and people that I have managed over the years before I had a kid. I've apologized to them for not understanding at all what they were dealing with when they had kids at home.
Yeah.
And she's she really is.
What is she into? Is she into sports? Like what, or like arts and crafts? Like, can you describe what she's into?
Totally. So she does do a lot of drawing and painting and stuff. She's
Hmm.
terrible at it, but she loves it.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
encourage it.
Well, she's
Um,
7.
right. But I'm telling you that gene's not there, and that's
Yeah.
okay. She
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
What's funny on the kind of athletics extracurricular side. So my wife was a really good swimmer in high school when she actually
Mm.
swam at a
Okay.
small Division 3 school in college called Denison University outside of Columbus, Ohio.
Mhm.
Um, and so she's extremely competitive and hard charging when it comes to athletics. So my daughter has probably tried every sport under the sun. She's naturally good at most of them, but then once she does it once or twice, she's like, I'm good. I'm on to the next thing and
Yeah.
infuriates my wife. So thankfully, in the last 2 years, she's
Yeah.
found her, and we think it's cheerleading, which also initially alienated my wife because in her
Mm.
mind it wasn't, a sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's come around full circle on it. So she's doing competitive cheerleading and gymnastics and is absolutely over the moon about it. She does cartwheels through the house all day long.
Aw.
And she's a tiny human being too, so she's the top of the pyramid,
Oh
which if
gosh.
you've
So
never
she's really
seen,
doing the competitive cheer.
if you've never
Wow.
seen anybody lift your tiny 7-year-old up high on
Oh,
top of a bunch of other kids, I'm not a nervous person by any
yeah.
stretch. Every time it happens, I'm a little bit like, don't
Yeah.
drop. So that's it. That's our world.
Yeah. That's very cool. Well, and that's a fun sport for dad to watch too. Talking about being a girl dad. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And it's been so nice getting to know you better. And I hope we'll stay in touch. And I'm going to look for that email of the pictures of your dogs.
Same, same. We're
Yeah.
going to do
All right.
numbers and text them back and forth.
There you go. All right. We'll see you. Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks.